everyone, it is Sam here. Listen, I'm going to be really quick with you today. I want to show you one of the easiest ways to take a boring meal and make it amazing without having to put macaroni and cheese on the dinner, because that's always something that's amazing, right? So I am going to show you one of my very simple barbecue sauces. It's paleo, it's simple, there's limited sugars. You could even omit them if you wanted to. How awesome does that sound? So if you are catching this on the replay because it's late and it's Friday, that's fine. My name is Samantha Rowland. I am the creator of Bites of Wellness. I'm a personal trainer, certified nutrition coach, and I'm also a faster way to fat loss coach. And today we are talking about how to turn a boring meal into something that you're actually going to look forward to. And that can be lunch because you made this beforehand and you have it on hand, and that could be dinner. You can throw this on shredded chicken, which is probably the easiest thing to do. If you haven't caught our crock pot chicken, we'll make sure to link to that in the comments afterwards. But some crock pot chicken in the crock pot all day long. Throw this on, it'll take 2 minutes, and you have a really yummy meal. So we're gonna get right into it today. We are going to use the fire roasted tomatoes. I already removed the lid, so I'm trying not to spill it. 28-ounce can. This is going to make quite a bit of barbecue sauce, so think about it as what would be a normal can. This has been hot for a minute, so alright, so we got a can of barbecue sauce, easy, or a can of the roasted tomatoes there. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of vinegar, so I'm using apple cider vinegar. I like to use the stuff with the mother, but whatever you have on hand. So this is only a half a tablespoon, so I've got to do 4, 2, 3. So the only reason I am heating all of this up is because if you kind of take a look into this pan right now, you'll see, even though most of this is tomatoes, there is quite a bit of water and liquid. I want some of that to boil off. But I'm also going to be adding frozen cherries, because this paleo barbecue sauce, a majority of the sweetness is going to come from frozen sweet cherries. You can get these at any grocery store. Just make sure that they are pitted. You definitely don't want to have any pits. So you need about a half of a cup, which I'm just going to eyeball about there. That should be easy enough. Put that in there. All right, so we've got our vinegar. We've got our cherries. They're going to start coming just kind of over the heat. And then from there, this is where you can kind of pick and choose. So I'm using some molasses. Molasses is full of lots of nutrients, a ton of vitamins. It does have sugar in it though. So if you are doing a Whole30, molasses is not allowed. You just need a tablespoon of it. You guys can see it's super thick. It kind of adds that, the flavor that I always expect when I have barbecue sauce. But again, if you are doing something where you can't sweeten with barbecue, that's fine too. Or if you don't like molasses. And then I'm also going to add a tablespoon of maple syrup, because we like our barbecue sauce slightly sweet here. So just a tablespoon of maple syrup. Again, this is gonna make almost an entire bottle worth. So this little bit of sugar, added sugar, isn't gonna be, anything that's too crazy. All right, so we've got molasses, we've got maple, got the tomatoes. Here's one of my favorite kitchen, I always have to have it in the kitchen with me, and that's tomato paste. So I get it in the tube so that it is easier for me. You need 3 tablespoons. I've used this enough to know, but of course you can measure it. 1, 2, 3. So when I was younger, I used to be obsessed with watching Rachel Ray, and she never measured, and everything turned out fine. So I'm gonna take her word for that it's okay. All right, so from here, we're just gonna add the seasoning. So this is all gonna be preference. I've got hot sauce here. We don't like things too spicy. Dave's giving me the evil eye. So I'm only gonna do essentially what would be the equivalent of like 10 or so dashes of hot sauce. But if you love spicy sauce and you love the heat, add as much as you want. And then we're gonna use cumin. So cumin is one of my favorite spices. Dave's again giving me a look. Why are you giving me a look? Cumin is good. Probably because he sprinkled this on his protein bowl the other day thinking it was cinnamon, and he was not happy. So I understand that though. So keep them in different places is the lesson to learn. So cumin, just a half of a tablespoon or a teaspoon. It adds that smokiness that you love without having to actually add in any kind of like liquid smoke or anything. Garlic powder, easy, half of a teaspoon of that. And then we're gonna add in some salts. And then I'm gonna show you guys one of my favorite kitchen utensils. And that's about a half of a teaspoon, perfect. All right, so clearly nobody is going to want to have this, right? It's all thick and gloopy. So you'll want to turn off the heat. That's step one. And step two is don't wear anything you love until you know how this thing works. So I've got an immersion blender. If you don't have one of these, don't freak out. As long as you have a blender, you'll be fine. What you want to do is turn this off so we don't, Dave's stepping back. No, it'll be fine. So you just want to go really slow in the beginning. So it's got a like super high and then not so high. And you're just going to, in the beginning, and then once you kind of get a hold of it, and then I'm just going to go for it. I want to show you guys kind of why we turn the heat on. All right, so you guys can see that a majority of the, just that quick, so you can kind of see, I know it's a little hot. And if you catch later on that there's a couple that didn't. All right, cool. That didn't, did it go everywhere? No, cool. All right. So what you want to do is turn this back on the heat and let it cook for 10 minutes or so. And this is like medium low heat. And the reason, again, is just to let it thicken a little bit so the tomato paste will help it thicken. But also just to cook off a little bit of the water that was originally in the tomatoes. But you'll want to let this cool completely. So once you have it at the thickness that you like, you'll want to make it cool completely. And then you're going to want to store it in some kind of glass container with a well-sealed lid. Don't put this in plastic. It'll make it all weird colors. But also you just don't want to, especially if it's not completely cooled, you don't want to throw that in plastic. You don't know what's going on there. So easy to seal glass container. I love mason jars for this. And then write the date that you made it on there, because the worst thing is like you pull something out of the fridge and you don't remember when you had it. So again, this is 2 or 3 minutes. It's super simple. If you're not talking, it'll go quick. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. If you want to grab this recipe, it's on our website, Bites of Wellness. Just type in cherry barbecue and you'll be able to find it. If this was helpful and if you try it, I would love to have your feedback on what you thought. So have a great rest of your day and we'll talk soon.